Hello, I'm Dr. Deborah Simmons. You can call me Debbie. I'm the clinical director of Primrose Healing and Wellness, and it's so nice to have you here. We're going to begin to do a series on this channel about holistic wellness, holistic health, holistic well-being, however you want to name that. Holistic versus holistic. What does that mean? WHOLISTIC means the whole person, right? Body, mind, spirit, every different part of us. Holistic, typically with the H, starting with an H, typically means the mindset. For all intents and purposes, we're talking about the connection between body, mind, spirit, and the whole big scope of what wellness is about. So that's what I want to educate you a little bit about today. The World Health Organization has a definition of health, and I've expanded on that a little bit, but it basically talks about that health and wellness is not just the absence of disease, but it's really about physical, psychological and emotional, social, intellectual, occupational, and I've added in spiritual well-being. So those are the areas that I want to talk a little bit about, because when we talk about holistic well-being, what we're doing is we're connecting all those different components. So physical wellness, that's probably the most obvious for people. It's not just absence of disease, but it's basically things like nutrition, sleep, exercise and activity, just movement in general. All the things that we do with our body and how our body is physically being affected by all of the different things in our lives. And it's a big part of what we're looking at when we talk about wellness. And then the next category we move into is psychological or emotional well-being, and those two are definitely connected. So, excuse me, psychological well-being are things like, how do we manage our feelings and emotions? Do our feelings and emotions manage us, or are we in control of them? Things like depression, anxiety, substance use, trauma, and many, many other mental health issues would fall into this category. And we're also going to see the relationship between the physical and the emotional. And we're going to be talking more about that. Social well-being. This is something that's in the last 18 months since COVID that has really changed for a lot of people. The social connections that we have in our life are really important. We need to, we are interdependent on one another. We cannot live in this world solo and on our own. And there are many different degrees about how people choose to interact with other people. I've gotten so many calls just since September from parents and teachers that are basically saying, my kids don't know how to go back to school. And I was thinking to myself, I could have predicted that, because they've been out of school for so long and they haven't had the time to interact with one another. They're relearning that. We're all relearning that. I know as people are going back to work, that's been stressful for them because they need to reconnect. I've heard people say, I don't even know how to just listen to somebody or have eye contact with them anymore because I've been out of it for so long. That's all about social well-being, and we can relearn those skills. Intellectual well-being is, how much do people like to learn? This isn't just about school, but it's like, what do you do to just really stimulate your mind? Do you like to read the newspaper or news stories or research articles? Do you like to play games? Just learning new things. What do you do to stimulate your brain? That's all part of wellness as well. It's called the cognitive part of who we are, the brain part. Occupational well-being. That's not just about a job. It could be about school. It could be about career goals. I actually was doing a career assessment with someone recently who didn't even have a job. And what we were looking at is basically his occupational well-being around the ideas of what goals do you have for yourself? Are you trying to achieve those goals? Are you getting things together like your resume? Are you doing the things that you need to do to achieve the career goals that you want? That's all part of the occupational piece. And of course, are you happy at work? Do you like what you're doing? All those things that fits into it and needs to be looked at as well. Um, Spiritual well-being. This one is, it's bigger than we realize, and it's basically part of who we are. Now, spirituality and religion are not the same thing. If somebody has a particular faith that they're connected to, that could be definitely part of their spiritual well-being if that feels good for them. On the other hand, there are many people who have been connected to a faith and that for whatever reason doesn't fit. So that might be just the opposite. But spirituality is more about what's bigger than you. I look at this fall picture that I have in my background, and I do this on purpose because I love the seasons and I love nature, and I think nature is much bigger than me. But the seasons of the year are just fascinating to me because they're about change and transformation. The season of fall, this is why I put this up, is about change and transformation, things dying and being reborn again. That's spirituality. It's what can you connect with that's bigger than you, that's maybe connecting inside of you. And it's beyond just the emotional. That's spiritual health. So what we look at in holistic wellness is all of those things, the connection between body, mind, and spirit. Now at Primrose, one of the things that I've learned is that the way we treat people using a holistic model far supersedes some of the other work that, for me, that I've done in my practice. Now, I'm trained as a therapist, as a licensed marriage and family therapist, and then I also have a doctorate in health psychology. What I've learned over those years is the traditional training is totally necessary and fabulous, and it's what grounds me in my practice. But the thing that I learned many years ago, I was working with a group of people with eating disorders. And I actually did my dissertation in the area of eating disorders. And I was working with a physician assistant who we sort of basically see very eye to eye on things. And we were doing something different with people in our community that other places were doing, that we're not doing. And I was trying to figure out what that was. Part of it was the spiritual piece, because I wrote my dissertation on why did treatment fail for people with anorexia. And big part of it was they didn't have the spiritual piece, but it was bigger than that. We were treating these people in a very holistic manner. We had the nutritional piece, the physical piece, the medication piece for some, the psychological piece. Clearly, we brought them in for body work, for movement, for body image stuff, a whole bunch of stuff on a very ongoing basis, not just for a 30-day treatment program. And they were doing better. And then I began thinking, why am I only treating my eating disorder clients in this holistic fashion? I should be treating everybody this way. People come in so many times and have said to me, I've been to therapists for anxiety or for depression and I just don't get better. I'm like, something's missing and I got to figure out what that is. So thus Primrose Healing and Wellness was born. Basically, we began as a psychotherapy practice. That's my background. And the therapists that we have are very trained, very clinically sound trained. How do I say that? They're very grounded in clinical sound psychological practices. They've got the theory, they have solid training. But we took it a step further, because as therapists, what we do is we really want to help our clients, but we realize that so much of that is out of our scope of practice. We need somebody who knows about nutrition. We need people who can do body movement and who can do energy work. And I said, let's bring all of these modalities into Primrose and let's really treat the entire person, body, mind, and soul. So that's exactly what we've done. Heather, our nutritionist, I've just never met anybody like her. She believes in the relationship between nutrition and mental health, and she's helped many of our clients by the fact that she's helping them change how they eat. And that has made a huge difference in the lives of many people. We have our movement therapist, Annette, who does yoga, mindfulness, meditation, has been trained in trauma-informed yoga. She does adaptive yoga. That means anybody can do yoga, but it's not about yoga. It's about learning to get in touch with the fact that your body can move in a different way, that your body can heal through movement, that there's something inside of you that if you learn to quiet yourself down and can learn to just be in the moment, meditate. Meditation is a scary word for a lot of people. She teaches people that it's not so scary. But we tap into that piece. We do what's called polarity therapy, which is it's body work, and it basically balances out the energy within the body at a physical level, an emotional level, and an energetic level. And I swear, when I came into it, when I discovered it, it was like a life changer for me. And we will be talking more about that. But it's better than any massage I've ever had. It's better than any Reiki session that I've had. And I believe in all those things. But it's really how to help the body let go of a lot of the psychological issues that people have. The body holds on to trauma, to anxiety, to depression. And so you can't just treat the psychological without treating the spiritual and the physical as well. So that's what a holistic practice is really about. The other thing that I think is so important is everybody has very unique needs when they come into therapy. If you look at the picture behind me of this fall picture, I don't know where this is, but I do know that fall is different everywhere that you go. And I'm in California, and our fall is not as drastic as it is in many other places. You've got fall in the Midwest, you've got fall up in New England, you've got fall down in the South, and it all is going to look different. The leaves on every tree are going to be very different for every tree, every state. Every person is just as different as the seasons and the states around us. And that's why I think I like this picture so much. And I love the metaphor of the changing with the seasons and the transformation. At Primrose, we do not have a specific treatment plan that's set up for everyone with anxiety or everyone with depression or trauma or substance abuse. You come in as a unique individual, and our holistic treatment plan is designed to meet your individual needs. And there is no one size fits all. That's so different for every single person. So holistic wellness is about body, mind, and spirit. Now, you want some resources on holistic wellness? Gosh, who was one of the first people that was out there? Andrew Weil. He was, I think when I was taking my classes, I mean, I knew about Andrew Weil way before I even went to school for health psychology, but he was one of the names in the field in terms of, just kind of treating people holistically. But, even beyond the authors of the books, what I want to say is there's a video out there if you want. This is sometimes an easier and it's a more modern way to kind of look at this today. If you have Netflix, the video is called Heal. And I make all of the therapists in my practice watch it because it really talks about the connection between body, mind, and spirit. And I would really recommend that for everybody who's out there if you'd like to learn more about it. So what are your unique needs? What are you working on that just hasn't worked? Is it because there's not this connection between body, mind, and spirit? You haven't been treated in a holistic fashion? If that's the case, then you know what? Give us a phone call. Talk to us on the phone. We'll I'll give anybody a free complimentary consultation. All of our therapists will do that just to see what works for you. Check out our website, primrosehealingandwellness.com, and give us a call at 650-425-3451. We're going to be continuing this series on holistic wellness and what that's about. So look for us, follow us, message us, let us know what more you'd like to look for. But it's really fun to be here and to be able to educate you. And I hope that you've gotten some education and that you'll continue to follow us and to get more info. Take care and have a great afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are in this world. Have a great one. Until next time.